Okay, I'm live. Yay. So, what I want to talk about today is saw somebody's video. This is a somewhat popular YouTuber, and his name is Joel Terry. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for mentioning his name. And he was just talking about how if the narcissist accepts you back, and then he pretty much went on to talking about this mysterious female. Who knows who the female is? But he's basically saying that if this man comes back to you or whatever like that, it's because he couldn't find anybody better. It's because, or he has so much pride that he just can't confront you and talk to you or whatever like that. And he was basically saying that then he went on to women with a past. And he's basically saying that high value men do not want women with a past because whatever that woman did or whoever, whatever, that means that they could probably do it again. My problem with this is that, first of all, you would have to be a high value man to say what a high value man would be able to do. And if you're 24, 25, you probably aren't a high value man yet. You probably don't even know how to be a high value man. And just a female can tell by like the different things that you say, how you act, how you perceive the world. Um, and my problem with what he's saying is just that he's saying this female has a bad past, but everything that I've watched from him shows that he has a bitter past. This dude, I don't want to talk about him, but I'm talking about him. This dude talks about all his relationships from high school. You're 24, 25, 26, and you're talking about you're crapping on females who might have a bitter past or a bad past. Lord bless all the orphans out there. Um, that might have a bitter past or whatever like that, and yet your past is super bitter. It's, oh, in high school I had a relationship with this girl. In high school, dude, you're 24, 25, 26. Have you had any relationships outside of high school that you could talk about? If you're a high value man, you're not going to sit up there and talk about all the relationships you had in high school at 26 years old and that's all you talk about. You haven't talked about any of your relationships out of high school. Like that was 18 years old. Everybody, I've had bad relationships in high school. Not, I mean, they weren't horrible actually, but it's like I'm not dwelling on all the relationships that didn't work in high school. Like you might have dated, three dudes, two dudes a year. I mean, a dude for 2 years in high school. That's pretty good. Two dudes, 2 years, or whatever. One might have went to college before you, but I'm not sitting there talking about that every time I'm doing a video at the age 26. Then I'm like, okay, you're judgmental. It's like a high value man is looking for a good woman now. He's not going through her resume 10 years ago of her past. What he was attracted to at the time is what he's going to be looking for in that woman. He's not going to be like, oh, let me look at your past. Now, if he's one of those people who wants to look at your past, his parents are pulling up your information, then I would think that, you should ask. Like, you could literally be missing a really good person. And then check this out. For all those high value men who choose not to be with a woman who has a little past, hopefully you've considered her history and where she comes from, and you've just considered it all. But what about the women who have a fucked up future? Like, oh baby, your past is so squeaky effing clean, but your future is gonna be killing me for fucking insurance money, and it's gonna be cheating on me and treating me like trash and coming back home and bringing me HIV or some type of disease, right? Okay, so consider that. Consider that. And the reason why I feel some type of way about it because I come from a place where there's people who are orphans, dudes who have been highly abused and who have chosen a certain lifestyle because of feeling demasculinated or whatever you call it. And then they've changed back to just being a straight man. I've seen women who don't know exactly how to get jobs, but people are helping them, but they still don't know how to get their life together. These are people who don't have like any parental guidance at certain points in their life. And you're asking for an absolute superstar 100% miracle. Now, back when I was in foster care, you aged out at 18 years old. Now, you tell me how you were living at 18 years old, how great you were. And then I want to know your history about your parents, because they better be damn good parents for you to been okay at 18 years old. And more than likely, they weren't somebody else's parents or not your parents. So to me, you're just like promoting this, just bashing orphans and all these people talking about they want to be philanthropists and stuff like that and giving, but you really can't give because you're too busy criticizing people and you don't know exactly where they come from. If you're that bitter of a person and you're so stuck up in your crap hole that you have to be like, I'm so better than this woman because she might have dated a couple of dudes more than what I have liked. Like she might have dated six dudes. That's more than one hand that I can count. Yeah, she's not good for me. And I would rather be alone than to date a woman that has a little bit of mystery going on in her past. Like that's why you're gonna be alone. That's why you're always alone. You're never going to be alone because you're looking for the perfect person and it doesn't fucking exist. So go in the gym, lift those weights, and pretend that it's a bitch because that's about as far as you're going to get in life, buddy. That's as far as you're going to get. You're overcritical. You're overcritical. You're talking about some woman who she not even doing good anyway. You're not doing good because you're talking about your high school life and your bad relationships at 26 years old. Then you're telling people that you're extremely judgmental, that you wouldn't date a female that came from a hard knock life because you're a high value man. I know a high value man can see past the things that are unnecessary for him to look at for what he needs and wants right now at the time. But he could see the potential and that potential turns into momentum and he's not thinking about all the fears. See, you're fear based. You're fear based, not faith based. Everything you do is based on what that person might do. They did this in their relationship. This is why you shouldn't tell dudes about your relationship. Don't be too honest. Wait till you get married. Don't tell him nothing about your past. Don't tell him none of your business, none of your information. Don't tell him nothing. If he finds out something, that's his business. Okay. If he wants to acknowledge it, that's his problem. Whatever. Don't tell them because then they're going to try to use that as a way to, oh, how I should treat you. Oh, if you tell them about how the last dude treats you, they're probably pathetic enough to treat you the way that person treated you. You're not high value, dude. You lift weights, you talk about high school all the time. You can't see past people's mistakes. You can't even see your own mistakes, the one that you're making. And it's just like, you're acting like you're better than people. Look at Elon Musk. Did you see who was on his arms a couple of days ago? Yeah, she don't look like just Miss Sedity and so squeaky clean. No, she doesn't look like that. Dudes want what they want. They like who they like. And some dudes like a little mystery and some dudes like a little attention. Like, what I'm saying? That's more publicity for them. But what you're talking about, like I said, I've seen these dudes meet these random women just off of a one night stand who are millionaires, and they literally get their heads hacked off 2 weeks later because this girl didn't have a past, but she was all into his money so much that she would kill him for it. So just beware. Also, someone who has a past would be able to say, would be able to reflect on their life, might have other people looking at their life too. So they would probably be more cautious and more aware of their self than someone who's been doing a lot of shit out there and never getting in trouble for anything that they do. Or doing a lot of shit out there and just acting like, Oh, I'm invincible to the world. I can treat people bad. I can poison people. I could do this. I could do all that. You don't know who you're messing with. Just and a lot of people who are really really good underneath there. I call them the church women with the devil heart. They're, oh yes, girl, I'm so religious. And then at nighttime they're stabbing you in the back or putting poison in your food. So you just pick your choice. Everybody has their own taste, their own style, but you can't sit up here and try to degrade every woman that has gone through something bad in her life. And women can't do that to men either. And I'm sorry to tell you, but there's a lot of fine ass people who have gone through bad ass shit. And there's also a lot of talented people who have gone through horrible ass shit. And if they had somebody who would just help them the way that they should have helped them during their childhood development, they would be a fucking superstar with a squeaky fucking clean background. Those are some of the people you're talking about. And some of these people, well, we haven't even mentioned the people who have gotten accused of things that they haven't even actually really done or haven't even done, or people who are in understandable situations. There's a lot of people who have done bad things and have overcome. Look at Jay-Z. Didn't he stab somebody? Didn't he do something to somebody? Aren't there a lot of people who've done things and then they've made better of themselves? What you should be saying as a high value man is, let me see what happened back then if you're that fucking nosy. And then let me see how this person has progressed over time. Did that person try to go to college? Did that person get any type of jobs? Does this person have a dream of future? If I say I was going to give you a certain amount of money to invest in you, what would that person do with it? Would they go buy a whole bunch of Balenciaga bags, or would they start a business? What type of person is she really? I want to know who she really is, not what her situation or his situation put them through. Because some people are living off of survival and not knowing. Isn't that the famous quote Oprah said, when you know better, you do better? Look at Oprah Winfrey's story. So though Oprah Winfrey is very rich now, okay? I don't know why she's not married. She should be married. But there's a lot of people and a lot of celebrities, that aren't married to the most perfect, squeaky clean people. So let's just forget that. Oh, high value men only want the squeaky clean females because, like I said, those females are also the females that could be plotting your demise in the future. What you need to be looking for, a female that has a good heart, a female who understands situations, and a female that's been through a little bit adds a little spice and understanding to your probably boring ass life. You can say, yes, my wife has been through a lot of things. She's had a very difficult life. She's overcome so many things. She's built herself all the way up. She's been to the very bottom. And that within itself to me is something substantial. Or your husband or whatever, whoever you're with. That is a talking point within itself. Everybody doesn't have to be squeaky clean. If that was the case, Jesus didn't have to come down here to try to be more manly. He could have just stayed godly as possible. And it's just like there's plenty of examples, and that shows that you're not necessarily a godly person, because God, even you, if you look at things within the Bible, even God, even his disciples, we don't even have to talk about a Mary Magdalene. Even his disciples weren't the most perfect people, but they were people who were willing to follow him and who were willing to do right by him, except that one. The majority of them would. He didn't find squeaky clean people. He found people who met what he needed to meet, and they did that, and they did that well. So when you're looking for a wife, make sure that's what you're looking for, a wife, and not somebody who has this squeaky clean past. Because if you're dating a squeaky clean past, then do that. If you're dating a wife who's a real person and a natural human being who could have gone through some things and overcame some things, then that's a different story. So pick your book. Anyway, thank you. I'm glad y'all are here, and I will see you guys later.